Going on, guys? Warm Swarm coming at you guys with another video. Coming at you guys with the Packers at the Lions. This is the aftermath, baby. This is the aftermath. Wasn't a good outing for the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions lost to the Packers at home, 31-24. Packers stay at top of the NFC North, and the Lions stay right at the bottom at fourth. You guys know how my aftermath goes, guys. I like to talk about the game as I'm going along with the numbers, and we just shoot it. We just go for it, okay? But we'll start off with the numbers with Aaron Rodgers. It was 26 for 33 at a 79% completion percentage. It was pretty much spot on all game. 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 0 sacks. Barely got hit. I think he might have got hit once, but we'll talk about that when we get to the defensive part. So yeah, he was pretty good. He looked good. He did his thing. He's one of the leading candidates for the MVP in the NFL this year. So he did his thing. But 79%, that's crazy in itself. You know what I mean? He was just on fire, man. He was out there, man. He could have had his eyes closed. He was throwing dimes. On to Stafford, went 24 for 34. He was at 70% completion percentage too. He was really good. I thought he was good. He 244 yards, a touchdown, 0 interceptions, sacked 4 times. He might have took 1 or 2 bad sacks himself, but he didn't seem like he was comfortable again in this game. Played a little bit better this game than he did the first game, but just didn't get in the end zone enough. He ended up getting hurt. Went down late in the fourth quarter. I think there might have been about 6 minutes left and change. I forget. Chase Daniel came in. He went 3 for 6, 50% completion percentage, and 29 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Didn't get sacked. I don't think he even got hit, if I can recall. He's just a backup guy. So you could be seeing some Chase Daniel this week, though, versus Tennessee Titans, and we'll get into that maybe a little bit later in the next couple of days. It doesn't really look like Stafford's going to be playing, I don't think. X-rays did come back negative, but he's in a lot of pain apparently. So, he hurt his ribs. He got bent over. He got bent, pushed down, twisted. It didn't look good. It did not look good. But we can talk about that in the next couple of days. But on the running backs, guys, start off with Green Bay Packers because they were their away team. Aaron Jones, 15 carries for 69 yards, 0 touchdowns. Had a nice YPC at 4.6 with 11 long. Jamal Williams, 10 carries for 38 yards at a 3.8 with a 9 long. Then Aaron Rodgers went 6 carries for 13 yards and a touchdown on a really long drive. That Aaron Rodgers touchdown was a really, really long drive. We'll get that too. 2.2 yards per carry with a 6 long. Down to our guys again. Deandre Swift, 7 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown. Good to see him back. Didn't get enough looks though. He could be still not 100. Obviously, he's not 100%. So, but he was at 3.4 and with a 5 long. Jamal Agnew had 1 carry for 11 yards at 1.8 and 11 long. Adrian Peterson only got 4 carries for 7 yards, 1.8 YPC, 3 long. Matt Stafford had 1 carry for 6 yards and on 6 YPC and a 6 long. That's the carry that he got hurt on. Getting the first down and getting crunched by Kenny Clark. And then Kerryon Johnson had 2 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown on 1.5 YPC with a 2 long. 51 total yards on the ground again, guys. I think last week they had, I think it might have been the exact same number, 51 or 54 last week. So again, they don't run enough. They don't get enough yards to begin with, but they only attempted 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14 carries between their running backs and 1 carry between Stafford. So 15 carries as a unit. Not enough, you know what I mean? They weren't completely out of this game either. Just the time of possession was really bad, but we'll talk about that in a bit too. But like I said, guys, we just don't run the ball enough. We just don't have a running game. It just doesn't exist. I love Deandre Swift. I love what he brings to the table, but they're just not giving him the ball enough. They're just not giving him the ball enough. AP was completely shut down. 4 carries. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just crazy. Um, I thought they should have ran a little bit more, uh, trying to keep the Packers off the field because the offense just destroyed this defense. Time of possession was just so bad. You know what I mean? The defense could not make a play. They just don't make plays. You know, it's just like a broken record. So on to the receiving guys. Start off with the Packers. Davante Adams had 7 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. His long was a 56 too on 10 targets. That 56-yarder was a beauty. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown as well. 6 targets, 21 long. Robert Tonyan, their tight end, had 5 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown. 5 targets, 11 long. Alan Lazard had 2 catches for 9 yards, 3 targets, 14 long. Aquanius St. Brown had 1 catch for 15 yards on 1 target, 15 long, obviously. Tavon Austin, who I had no idea was even still in the NFL. To tell you the truth, guys, I had no idea. I completely forgot that this guy was on the Packers. I didn't even know he was on a roster, to tell you the truth, man. You guys remember him from the Rams days? Little explosive guy. He didn't really settle in great. But didn't have a great career, but he was electric with the football in his hand, you know, when he was younger. And he's bounced around a little bit. He was on the Packers. I didn't even know. But he had 2 catches for 8 yards on 2 targets and 5 long. Mercedes Lewis had 1 catch for 6 yards on a 1 target, 6 long, obviously. And Aaron Jones only caught 2 balls for 6 yards on 3 targets with a 7 long. Like I said, guys, here, Davante Adams destroyed us in the secondary. He made a couple guys look pretty silly on Sunday. Scantling looked good too. He's a guy that has a lot of drops this year. Rodgers has talked about him in the past as being a guy that he needs to rely on, and he's kind of talked good about him. He's kind of talked bad about him. He's wanted to prop him up. He's chopped him down, but he was looking for him that day, and he took care of business. Now on to our guys. Danny Amendola had 6 catches for 66 yards, no touchdowns on 7 targets and a 16 long. Marvin Jones had 4 catches for 48 yards, no touchdowns on 8 targets, 23 long. He should have had at least 1 more catch and probably had about 20 or 30 more yards on that, but refs kind of screwed him over. It always seems to be that we get jacked by the Green Bay Packers when we play the refs. No, well, that kind of made sense actually. We get screwed by the refs when we play the Packers. That was weird. I didn't even mean to say that. But it just, every time we seem to play the Green Bay Packers, there's 1 or 2 bad calls, and there was a couple bad calls in here. And I don't want to be that guy talking junk about the referees, you know, because I'm sick. We're just a losing organization. We just lose games. We didn't lose this game because of that, but we just never get the breaks. We just never get the breaks. And I thought there was 2 or 3 bad calls in this game that could have maybe turned things around. Marvin Jones, like I said, 4 catches, 48 yards. Then Hawkinson had 6 catches, 43 yards and a touchdown on a nice little shovel pass. On 11 targets, they tried to get him involved. Just couldn't get it going totally, but he did have 6 catches and a touch on a 16 long. Mohamed Sanu had 2 catches for 37 yards and no touchdowns on 2 targets, 21 long. Deandre Swift had 4 catches, 26 yards, 5 targets on a 17 long. Adrian Peterson, 1 catch, 23 yards on 1 target, 23 long, obviously. Cephas, the rookie, had 2 catches for 16 yards, 2 targets, 8 on an 8 long. Kerryon Johnson had one catch for 10 yards, no touchdowns on 1 target on a 10 long. Jamal Agnew had 1 catch, 4 yards. 1 target, 4 long, obviously. Not a whole bunch going on there, guys. Amendola played pretty good. Had a couple nice catches. Marvin Jones, I thought, should have had a better day. In my mind, he did have a better day. It just he got jacked on the refs. Even went as far as to say that the referees told him that he made that big catch. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I think it was we ended up scoring on that play anyways. We ended up scoring a touchdown on that play, so I'm not going to get too crazy about it. We ended up scoring. I think Kerryon Johnson had a 3-yard run or something like that. So we did end up scoring on that drive. It just always seems we get jacked up by the refs when we play the Packers. It's just weird. But he should have had a better day. But there was nothing really big going on here, guys. Amendola with a better day and Hawkinson with the touchdown. So again, nothing much really going on offense. Stafford can't do it by himself. He needs more help. He needs a running game, man, just to open things up. Nothing's ever open. So, on to the defense, guys. We'll start off with the Packers. Their safety, Darnell Savage, had 8 tackles, a sack, tackle for loss, quarterback hit. He had a pretty good game. Another safety, Adrian Amos, had 7 tackles, tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. Cornerback Kevin King had 5 tackles. Defensive tackle Kenny Clark had 4 tackles, a sack, tackle for loss, a quarterback hit. He's the one who crunched up Matt Stafford as well. Defensive tackle Dean Lowry had 4 tackles, a sack. Not a sack guy, but he had a sack, tackle for loss, and a quarterback hit. Linebacker Christian Kirksey had 4 tackles. He was kind of quiet. Linebacker Chris Burns had 3 tackles. Cornerback Jair Alexander had 3 tackles and a pass deflect. Defensive end Preston Smith only had 2 tackles. Didn't really get to the quarterback. Safety Will Redmond, 2 tackles. Defensive end linebacker Randy Ramsey had 2 tackles. Defensive tackle Tyler Lancaster, 2 tackles. Defensive end Rashawn Gary, Michigan Wolverine, had a tackle, sack, tackle for loss, a quarterback hit. Kicker Mason Crosby had a tackle. I think that was on the Jamal Agnew 71-yard kickoff. Pretty sure. I think it would only be, I think he's the one who made the stop, pushed him out of bounds or whatever. Then quarterback Chandon Sullivan had a tackle. Safety Vernon Scott had a tackle. Defensive end Zadarius Smith had a pass deflection. Another guy that didn't really get to the quarterback. Linebacker Kamal Martin had a tackle and a quarterback hit. Defensive tackle Kinsley Kiki had a pass deflect and a quarterback hit. All in all, the Packers hit Stafford 6 times, 4 pass deflects, 4 sacks. Disruptive. Did some things, made some plays. No interceptions though, which was pretty good. But they got in Stafford's face. They did what they were supposed to do. You know what I mean? And at least they hit him. At least they sacked him. That's just the defense helping out in offense. You know what I mean? That's something that we don't have here, and it's clearly obvious. Our defense, guys, the Detroit Lions. Cornerback Darryl Roberts had 7 tackles and a pass deflect. Safety Jaron Curse had 6 tackles. Linebacker Jamie Collins had 6 tackles and a pass deflection. Cornerback Amani Oruwariye had a rough day. 5 tackles, pass deflection. Defensive end Austin Bryant had 4 tackles and a quarterback hit. Remember that, okay? Guys, safety Tracy Walker, 4 tackles. Defensive lineman Deshaun Hand, who's back from injury, had 3 tackles. Linebacker Christian Jones, 3 tackles. Cornerback Justin Coleman, 3 tackles and a tackle for loss. Linebacker Jelani Tavai had 3 tackles. Linebacker Reggie Ragland had 2 tackles. Cornerback Mike Ford had 2 tackles and a pass deflect. Defensive tackle Kevin Strong had 2 tackles. Safety Will Harris had 2 tackles. Defensive tackle John Penasini, the rookie out of Utah, had 2 tackles and a tackle for loss. Safety DeDron Harmon had 2 tackles. Linebacker Jared Davis, 2 tackles. Jamal Agnew had a tackle on special teams. Fullback Jason Kaminda, special teams tackle. And then defensive end Romeo Aquara just had 1 tackle. He was real quiet, man. That's the most notable that I could say about this game. There was nothing special about this game whatsoever from any defensive player at all. Nobody played good. 0 sacks, 0 interceptions, 4 pass deflects, 1 friggin' quarterback hit. 1. And it was from Austin Bryant. How are you supposed to win football games if you can't be disruptive? You know what I mean? If you can't be disruptive, man, on defense, you can't win games. Aaron Rodgers had all day. And we're going to talk about how all day they actually really had. But we'll go to the scoring, guys. We started off the scoring with a Hawkinson pass, 1 yard shovel pass from Staff, made it 7-0 Detroit. And Davante Adams came back with a 56-yard pass. He did it all himself, though. He caught a short pass and turned it, weaved and juked out 2 or 3 Detroit Lions. He made Amani Oruwariye look like an amateur. He made him look like an amateur. And it looked like Oruwariye actually gave up on that play. He juked him, and then he tried to catch him, and he just realized, maybe he just realized he couldn't catch him, and he slowed up. Davante Adams juked his way into the end zone, just untouched. Untouched. Such a good wide receiver. He just made our guys look like high school guys. Then on to the second. So that made it 7-7. On to the second quarter, Marquez Valdes-Scantling had a touchdown and 14-yarder. That was on Oruwariye again, but Oruwariye actually was draped all over him. He had him covered. He had him. It was great. It was actually a great play by Oruwariye. He was draped all over him. Scantling just reached out, caught the ball with his hands, didn't wait for the ball to come into his body, or it probably would have been swatted away. It was a beautiful coverage. It was just a beautiful throw, good ball placement, and great hand placement by Scantling. It was just a really nice play. It was 14-yarder. It was nice. That made it 14-7. Then Swift had a 3-yard run where we had about a 5-minute drive or something like that. It was about a 5-minute drive, I think. Made it 14-14. Then I went to the third quarter. Aaron Rodgers had a 6-yard run. That drive alone took 8 minutes and 49 seconds. How is that even possible? I don't even know how stuff like that's even possible in the NFL. 8 minutes and 49 seconds. I think the play calling. Well, I think there was over 12, 13 plays in that one. Might have been even more. There might have been more. They were just dinking and dunking all the way down the field, taking their time. Rodgers was even breaking out of sweat. So you can't you can't win football games if you can't get off the field. Get off the field, Detroit. Get off the field, defense. What are you doing? So that made it 21-14 Green Bay. On to the fourth quarter. This is when you think the game was running away. Robert Tonyan had a 4-yard pass for a touchdown that made it 28-14. And then we came back with the KJ run, 2-yard touchdown run, which was a 13-play drive. That was the 5-minute 31 seconds. Sorry, that was the 5-minute 31-second drive. So that was a good drive. Made it 28-21 Green Bay. And then Green Bay hit a 57-yard field goal. Made it 31-21. And then we hit a 32-yard field goal with about a minute and 49 seconds to go. Made it 31-24. But in that game, on that same drive, this is where the refereeing comes into play. On that same drive, Chase Daniel was in the game, by the way. He came in. Jamal Agnew started it off with a really nice kickoff return, like 70 yards. Then it should have ended up with Chase Daniel with about a 4-yard scramble for a touchdown. It was all of a sudden Matt Nelson was flagged for holding. Okay, was flagged for holding, which I thought it was a little bit weak, but I mean, whatever. And then we ended up kicking the 32-yard field goal, made it 31-24, and then we tried an onside kick, and I thought Killebrew was in bounds. It looked like his foot was in bounds. It was close, but it looked like it was in bounds. Game over. Packers got the ball, got a couple first downs, a couple first downs, and then they just kneeled. They just kneeled afterwards, and the clock ran out. Like I said, guys, Stafford going down late, hurt. His ribs are hurt. He probably won't be playing this week. I don't think he should be shut down anyways. This team's not making the playoffs. They got 2-3 huge games coming up, but there are 2-3 really good football teams coming up. Well, 2 for sure, Tennessee and Tampa Bay. Minnesota's kind of, but they're fighting for a playoff spot. So we'll see what happens with them. But they're a tough. They're a tough go, anyways. We have trouble against Minnesota. So, like I said, Stafford getting hurt really hurt this team, and we'll see what happens against Tennessee coming up. But like I said, the Lions didn't make it interesting. They tried to score. I thought they got in. They made it really interesting. They got negated by a holding, kicked the field goal, and the onside kick. I thought Killebrew was in, but whatever. But the big thing on this was time of possession. Green Bay had 35 minutes and 30 seconds of possession. We had 24 and 30 seconds. You know what I mean? That's an 11-minute difference. 11 minutes, man. They alone, Green Bay had 3 possessions over 7 minutes plus. 3. One being that 8-minute and 49-second. You're not going to win football games. Your defense can't get off the field. You're losing 150% of the time. You know what I mean? That 8-minute drive just destroyed us. 2 of those were in the second half. 2 of those were in the second half, which totaled about 7:14, which totaled about like 15 minutes in the second half. That's a quarter. That's 1 quarter for 2 drives. You can't have that. You can't have that. You got to make a play. This defense just doesn't make plays. It's the same thing over and over again, guys. It's the same thing over and over again. I get so sick and tired of talking about it. Bevel, you know what I mean? I like that they love Bevel, and they want to make him the guy, but it's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. He's handed what he's dealt with. You know what I mean? He's dealing with what he's dealt with. So you can't make any on the fly changes right now. You can make a couple maybe little scheme changes, and do a little different plays here and there. But this is Patricia's team. This is Patricia's team still, even though he's gone. But Bevel, man, all that thought about him coming back and being the head coach, everybody get that out of your head. He's not coming back here. He's not going to be the head coach. Okay? Corey Unlin, you're gone too. I don't really know who they're going to keep. It all depends. They are doing their due diligence right now, and they are interviewing guys like crazy. They got Louis Riddick coming in Friday, I believe. They got Rick Smith, the former Houston Texan GM, coming in. They've interviewed 3 guys in house. I think that's just doing their due diligence, just giving guys some token interviews. You know what I mean? Saying okay, but I don't think they have any intentions of hiring anybody in house. Nobody. I don't see anybody getting hired like that. It's going to be interesting though, guys. But this team is just a bad football team. They're just bad, man. Last in their division, one of the worst teams in the league. I think they're drafting 12th, 13th, I want to say. They're going nowhere. They're probably going to end up drafting in the top 10. I don't see them winning the next 3 games. I don't even see them beating Minnesota. So they're definitely not going to beat Tennessee. They're not beating Tennessee, and they're not beating Tampa Bay. Okay? We got to play Tampa Bay on prime time too, by the way. I think that game got flexed to a night game. But this game in itself, this Packer game, I didn't see anything impressive. Stafford impressed me again. He did. Kid plays with so much heart. He tries to do it by himself, and then he gets crunched in the process of doing it. The time is up on him. I think, guys, time is up. You might see him in a Lions uniform maybe next year, unless he talks his way out, unless he demands his way out. But I'm pretty sure he's had enough. This will be the 2nd year in a row that he's probably going to miss time. Guys on the radio were trying to say it's been 3 years. It's not. As far as I know, he missed time last year, 8 games, and the year before that he played hurt his back, but he played all 16 games 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. That's just the radio just talking trash. Unless I lost my mind and can't remember that, but I could have swore back in 2018 he hurt his back going all through 2018, but he played through it. And then he played through 2019, 8 games, got hurt, sat for half the year. And that was the first time he's missed games in 9, 10 years. So, but it's time. It's time to at least get the guy that you want. You know what I mean? It's time to at least go and get that quarterback that you want. Just all depends on the new GM and new head coach. You got to get a guy, and you got to have Stafford groom him, because financially you can't get rid of Stafford. You just can't. It's not gonna. It doesn't make any sense to do it. You know what I mean, you're gonna hurt yourself in the cap. 2 years from now, you could probably do it. Not next year, the year after, 2022. You could trade him. And I think the cap's even pretty big there too. But at least he's a free agent 2023, I believe. 2023, 2024. I think it's 2023. Don't quote me on that though. But I got nothing. I got nothing really positive to say. The game seemed close as you were watching this game. It was like 7-0, then 7-7, 14-7, 14-14, 21-14. It looked really close, but that's a little bit of an illusion because the time of possession was just so huge. It was such a big difference in this game. Green Bay had the ball forever. They had the ball forever. More than half the game. More than half. 35 minutes and 30 seconds. You know what I mean? You're not going to win football games like that. You're not going to win football games like that. And Green Bay sustaining 7+ minute drives, another 7+ minute drive, and another 8+ minute drive. That's how you win football games. And then your defense, your defense can't make plays. They just don't. It's like they're allergic to making plays, man. They are. It's like they're completely allergic. No picks, no sacks, no forced fumbles. Not even breathing on Rodgers. You can't do that to Aaron Rodgers. He's a magician, man. He's gonna kill you every single time. So I don't really have anything positive to say, man. Maybe a little bit of Stafford. Amedo was nice. Marvin Jones probably should have had a better day. Hawk was okay. Swift didn't do much. He did get in the end zone, but it was early. It was short yards. He didn't have any splash plays. I got nothing positive to say about this defense at all. Nothing even sticks out to me. Nothing even sticks out. Who? Austin Bryant had 4 tackles on a quarterback hit. If you want to call that success, my God, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm looking up and down this, trying to think if there's anybody that made a couple splash plays. I don't remember any, man. I don't remember any. All around bad, guys. But on to Tennessee next, guys. I think we're going there. I think it's our last road game. I think that's our last road game, and then the next 2 are home. So somehow we're still in this race. Well, it's getting worse and worse. I think we're 2.5 games out or 2 games out now. And it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. So thanks, guys, for the video. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, get all my videos, and like and comment, positive, negative. Sorry about the negativity on this one, guys. There's a lot of negativity in this one, but that's just what it is. I tried to bring out tried to find some positive, couldn't do it. But anyways, guys, go Lions. Let's go, man. Beat Tennessee. Boom.